Hey guys, Geoff Nemnich here, The Last Stand. We're in the middle of a hunt here in South Dakota. We're trying to bust the wind midday. It's an issue a lot of guys run into, but before I head back to the truck, I wanted to take a minute to talk about strategy and tactics when you do encounter large amounts of wind. Really, you have to understand coyote behavior, and usually in most situations in the fall and winter, the wind's gonna come up in the middle part of the day, and just understanding coyote behavior, that's the time of day when coyotes are gonna wanna lay up and bed up anyway. Really, the wind just essentially puts them to bed a little sooner. Sometimes coyotes are very predictable on where they're gonna lay up and bed up. Other times, they could lay about anywhere. But you as a coyote hunter, you just have to dissect the area that you have to call and try to figure out, okay, if I was a coyote, where would I be laying up out of the wind? Where would I be bedded up during the mid part of the day? And that's where you have to get in and make stands. Understanding that coyotes during the middle part of the day that they're laid up, they're not willing to respond from long distances anyway. So, the more cover, this is how I explain it. If you took a circle and you're the center of that circle, the radius, and then you take maybe half that circle, so you have essentially 180 degrees of this circle around you, how much cover and cuts and river bottoms and crevices and tall grass and cover can you pack in about a 400, 500, 600 yard radius of that 180 degrees around you? And the more of that you can pack in there, the better of stand it should be during that middle part of the day, just because that's that many more places that your sound's gonna hit and that coyotes could respond from. Now, volume of the call, I'm running the Lucky Duck Super Revolt today. Huge volume on all these, whether you're running the Revolt, the Roughneck, or the Super Revolt, you're gonna get crazy amounts of volume, and that's key. That's one of the big things is you want a call that's gonna get the volume out there to where the coyotes are. Now, just because they hear it doesn't mean they're always gonna come running that far, but that's one of those things that you might as well have it. It's one of those things that when you do get out here in the wind, if you don't have it, it's pretty depressing because you feel like you're just spinning your tires, that you're never gonna even have a chance to kill coyotes. And you may be the type of guy as well that, you may pick and choose the days that you hunt, and if the wind forecast is gonna be 15, 20, you may decide to say, hey, I'm gonna hold off for the next day or a day down the road when the wind's gonna be a little bit better. But if you're like us, when we're on these filming trips and things like this, we schedule this stuff months out. So we're stuck with the days and we have to handle whatever the conditions are. And you may be the same way. You may only have a day off from work once a week or something like that, and you just got to go out and do it. And, a lot of times it is a grind. It is a struggle. You just don't expect that your percentages are going to be as high, but you sure aren't going to kill them on the couch. And that's one thing that we do out here. We grind all day long, and we may go 5, 6, 7, 8 stands in a row without seeing anything. But every stand we make, we want to make sure that there's cover in there, that we're getting in tight as we possibly can so that the coyotes feel comfortable. When they're laid up middle part of the day like this, I've talked about it before, that coyotes have an imaginary bubble around them, meaning that the distance they want to travel to the call, and that changes throughout the day, it changes throughout the season, whatever it may be. And like I said, usually during the middle part of the day, lots of wind, it warms up a little bit, their bubble contracts, meaning you have to be pretty much right in on top of them to get a response. So keep those things in mind the next time you deal with some wind, and don't give up. Obviously your percentages are going to go down a little bit, but if you put all that together, crank the volume, get some sound out there, roughly make 6 to 7 minute stands. That's the thing too, that I didn't talk about is time on stand during these middle part of the day, knowing that the coyotes aren't coming from long distances. If they do come, it's not going to take them very long. So sitting there for 5, 6, 7 minutes is pretty much the norm. Sitting there for 15, 20 minutes in the middle part of the day when the wind's blowing 30, in my opinion, you probably just wasted about 12 minutes of your time. That's really that many more stands you can make, that much more ground you can cover throughout that middle part of the day. So keep all that in mind, and don't give up. Stay after it, and hopefully you kill some coyotes in the wind.